In this video, let's create our top shape section, which is this section here. So in the components folder, I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to call it shape section .js, and let's create a function. So we're going to say export default function and we're going to call it shape section. And let's return something, so we're going to say return, and here we're going to have a div with the class name of section. Let's also give it a class of shapes and close the div like so. Here for now let's just say hello, and let's try to use it in our app.js. So let's go to app, and here we're going to import our top shape section. So we're going to say import shape section from components / shape section like so, and let's use it here. So we're going to say shape section, save it, and here is our hello. So it is working. Okay, now we're going to create a title, so we are going to use a h1 with the class of title. So let's use a h1 and the class name will be title. So class name equals to title. Let's just copy this, Ctrl C, paste it, Ctrl V, save, and here is our text. Okay, after that we want these cards, so I am going to have a div that will wrap all these cards. So let's create a div, and the class name will be top shapes container, and here we're going to have some cards like so. So I'm going to create a component for each of this. So let's create a component, so new file, let's call it shape card .js like so, and here again we're going to say export default function shape card like so. So for the markup, we're first going to have a div that will have a class name of shape card. Inside that we are going to have an image, so we can just have an image, we don't need a div. Here we are going to have some images, and for the alt tag we can have just an empty string like so, and let's use a random image here. So in our public folder, inside the top shapes folder, again we have some images. Let's use them, and once again I'll leave the link to these images in the video description so you can get them from there. Okay, so since our images are in public folder, we can say /img, and then we have this top shapes folder, so top dash shapes, and then let's just choose img_1 .jpg. Okay, then we have this shape card info where we'll have all this info. So for now let's just have some random name, so let's just copy this, Ctrl V. After that we'll have recipe count, so shape dash recipe count like so. So here we can say recipes colon, and then we'll have a bold text, so B like so. Here we'll have some numbers, so let's just say 10 for now. Copy this, alt shift down, and then we'll have cuisine, so shape dash cuisine, and let's say cuisine here also, and this one let's just say Mexican, and then we'll have this icon. So we'll create the icon in a moment, but for now let's try to import it and use it. So in our shape section, let's try to import that card. So we're going to say import, we're going to import shape card from ./shape card, since we are already in this components folder. Okay, let's try to use it. So top shape container, inside the top shapes container, let's try to use it. So let's just say shapes card like so, save in our component. So as you can see, everything has rendered, but this looks ugly, so let's style them. So our section, let's copy this, Ctrl C, let's go to our index.scss, and let's paste it after the quote section here, so we can paste it here like so. and let's cut this out. So this was for our quote section. Let's Control X this, and here let's create a new file. So new file, we're going to call it underscore quote section .scss. Paste it, save, close it, and we're going to set import, and we're going to import partials / quote section. Save. Okay, we have spelled it wrong, so let me rename this. So we're going to click on rename, and this should be quote, QUOTE, like so. Save, and everything still works the same. Okay, now our shape section will have a display of blocks, so we're going to say display equals to block. Save, and now they are in separate lines. Okay, before we style anything, we have 1 2 3 and 3 here, so 6 cards. So let's use 6 card here. So I'm going to copy this 5 more time. 1 2 3 4 5. Save, and here we have 6 of them, so they are not looking that good, so let's style them. So here is our card. So this has a class of shape card, so let me copy this, Control C, and we're going to paste it here. So dot Control V, shape card. This will have a display of flex, so display of flex, and this will have a height of 120 pixels, so 120 pixel, like so. Let's target the image inside that, so IMG. The image inside that will have a height of 100%, so we're going to say height of 100%, and we're going to say this will have a width of 120 pixels, so 120 pixels. So this will be a square image. Okay, our image will also have a border radius, so we're going to say border radius. The border radius can be, let's say, 5 pixel. And we also want some box shadows, so actually let's add the box shadow later. Before that, let's create the grid, so this grid here. So for that, we're going to go to our top shape section. Let's copy this, so top shapes container, paste it, and we're going to say this will have a display of grid, so we're going to say display grid, like so. And then we're going to say grid template columns. We're going to say repeat, and we're going to use the auto fit function, and then we're going to say min max, and we're going to say the minimum width will be 280 pixel and maximum width will be 1 fractional unit. Okay, and then we're also going to say the grid gap. The gap can be, let's say, 1.5 em, like so. Save. Let's go here, and now as you can see, well, we already have this grid here, and if we try to resize our screen, as you can see, now we have this 3 column, 4 column, and 2 column and 1 column. So this is also responsive because we use the auto fit function with min max. We also want some icons here, so let's go to our shape card. Here we're going to have another paragraph text, so we can have a paragraph text, and here let's just call them class name equals to, we're going to call it shape dash icons, shape dash icons. And again, we're going to use our font awesome icons here, so let's import font awesome. So let's go here, and we're going to say import. We want to import font awesome, so font awesome icon from React font awesome icon, like so. And then we're also going to say import. We want to import FA Facebook, so FA Facebook. We want, let's see, we want Twitter and Instagram, so we're also going to say FA Twitter, and we want FA Instagram, like so. And we're importing them from font awesome / free brands icon, not solid icons. Remember, these are brands icon. Okay, let's try to use them. Let's see. Okay, here we're going to say font awesome icon, so font awesome icon, and then we're going to say icon equals to FA Facebook. Let's copy this 2 more time, and this one will be FA Twitter, so we're going to say FA Twitter, and the last one can be FA Instagram, so FA Instagram, like so. Save. Let's see if they're rendered. So here are our icons. So okay, let's style them now. So we're going to copy this shape card info, Control C to copy. Let's go to our index.scss, and inside the shape card we have our, we're going to paste it, Control V. Okay, this one will also have a height of 100%. So if you were to say background color, so background color of red for now, Go here, this one have 100% of the available width. Okay, let me just delete this. This one will also have a display of flex, so we're going to say display of flex, and this will have a flex direction of column like so, and we're going to say justify content to center, save it. Actually not center, we're going to say space between, so space between like so, and this is how they look, pretty close to what we have. Okay, let's say this will have just a little bit of padding on the bottom, so we're going to say padding bottom of, let's say, 0.5 em, so just a little bit of space in the bottom side. Okay, let's say this will also have some padding on the left side, so we're going to say padding left. Let's try 1 em, and I think this should be good. Okay, let's say box shadow for our image, so let's say box dash shadow. Let's say the x-axis will be 0, the y-axis can be, let's say, 3 pixel, and the blur can be 6 pixel, and the color will be our shadow color. Save. Okay, so now let's target the name. So our name has a class of shape card name, so this one can have a font size of 1.2 em, the font weight can be bold, and the color can be text color. Let's see, and we need it bigger, so let's try 1.5. okay, let's just keep 1.5 for now, we'll change it if needed. So after that we have the chef's recipe count and cuisine, so let's copy them. So we're going to have chef recipe count, and we also need the chef cuisine. So they will have a color of text light, so we're going to say color of text light. We can also say the font size to be, let's say, 1.2 em, and this is how they look like. Let's see. Okay, let's keep them like so. Let's target the icons. So our icons are in this paragraph text that has a class name of chef icons. Copy this, paste it here. So here we can say font size of, let's try 1.2 em. So our icons are a bit bigger, and let's target the SVG. So we're going to say SVG, and let's say they will have some margin on the right side, let's say 0.5 em. Okay, now let's color our icons. So this one should be the blue color, so let's target the first child. So we're going to say nth colon first child, so nth colon first child. Actually, let's just use nth child here, so nth child, going to target our first child. And for the color we can copy them from our finished project, so let me just click on inspect, and this is the color. So let me copy this, Control C, go here, and here we can say color equals to the color we copied. Let's copy this 2 more times, so 1 2. Let's target our second child, so 2, and again we can inspect the color. So this is the color. Let's just copy this 1 more time, and finally let's do this for our Instagram icon as well. So this is the color, Control C, this will be our third child, paste the color, Control V, like so, save, and this is how they look like. Okay, now instead of just hard coding them, we are going to create an array here. So we're going to say const chefs equals to, this will be an array, and let me just quickly paste the code that I already have to save time. So I have created an array of objects, so each object has a name, an image, which just goes to this image folder. So for example, this image 1 from the top chefs folder, all of them have a recipe count, a cuisine, and I have created just six of them. Each of them have different name and image, etc. So now we can loop over our object instead of just hard coding them. So let me just comment it out for now. So now we can say chefs.map, so chefs.map. For each of them we're going to get our chef, and then we're going to render the chef card. We're going to say the key equal to chef name, chef.name, and then we're also going to pass the chef object as our prop. So save it, and this still works the same, but now we're also passing this prop. So in our chef component we'll be able to get this, so let's try to get it. So actually we are already getting it, so chef, like so. So now instead of hard coding the image, we can say chef.image.img, save, and now we have different image. So let's do the same for the name. So let's just cut this. Here we're going to say shape.name, and let's see what else do we have. So here we have the recipes count. Let's go here, and inside this b tag, instead of just saying 10, we're going to say chef dot recipes count. And finally we have chef dot cuisine. Like so. So now each of our chef have different recipe count, cuisine and name. It is mostly done, but you'll notice that in the finished project, if I were to resize my screen, as you can see on smaller screen we have this box shadow on our card. So let's see how we can do that. So in our small screen we do get this one column layout, but we don't have any shadow. So let's create that shadow. So in our chef section, let's go to our index.scss. So our chef card, where is that? Here. This one will have a background color. So background color, and the background color will be our var dash dash background dash light. So background, actually just background color, sorry. So our background color, like so. So our background color is white, that is why we can't see it right now, but if it was a different color then we would be able to see it. Okay, anyways, now we're going to copy this. So let me just copy this, Control C. We are going to scroll down to our media query. When the screen size is small like this, in that case let's just paste this, and we're going to say this one will have some box shadow. So we're going to say box shadow, and the box shadow can be, let's say, the 5 pixel, 0 pixel for the x-axis, 5 pixel for the y-axis, 10 pixel for the blur, and the color will be our shadow color. So this is how they look like. Okay, one more thing that we want to do is, let me just go back. We're going to say the border radius will be 5 pixels, so border radius of 5 pixel, and we're also going to say overflow to hidden. So overflow hidden, save. And now this have this rounded corner, and if we were to scale up our page, the shadow is gone. On smaller screen we have shadow, but on large screen we don't have any shadow. Okay, so I think that's all for our top shape section. Actually no, we need a little bit of margin here. So in our finished project we don't have any margin, so let's do that. So our top shapes container will have some margin top. So we're going to say margin top of, let's try 2 em, let's try 3 em. And yeah, now it is looking much better, and that's all for this video. In the next video we're going to create our footer. After that we're going to make everything responsive, so subscribe for that, and I'll see you next time.